I just want everybody to know, especially Sinetta, Brother Reggie, Brother Polite, that Sinetta TV is doing a marvelous, mighty work. Sinetta TV is doing a marvelous, mighty work. Sinetta TV is doing a marvelous, mighty work. I mean, all the way in Baltimore, we spread our message of black unity, but we've been bitten by Sinetta TV and influenced by Sinetta TV to do it. But we've been bitten by Sinetta TV and influenced by Sinetta TV to do it. But we've been bitten by Sinetta TV and influenced by Sinetta TV to do it.
Shit, violent.
Put it on, bro. Put it on, man.
Say, yo, my bad, kid.
I don't know. I had on top of her head.
You know what I mean? Sinetta, you don't care about how I go and give a
Yo, come on, put the cream. How you doing? How you doing? All right.
You know what I mean.
Yo, come on, man. Put the green hat on real quick. Cause look, red, black, and green.
Professor got it on, bro. I can't wear this.
He can't fit it. His head too big. Pause, you know what I'm saying? There you go, come on this side, come over here.
I tell you gotta get on that side. I'm a little worried.
It'll fit you better than Esau, that's for certain.
Clown side. I don't drink, so I gotta do
Let's
something.
go, y'all. You got the mic, Small.
I'm going to the city to watch.
Peace and Black Power.
Pause.
Many folks are running to New York trying to cram down to some Times Square. You know how you really need to bring the new year in? With your people elevating your mind.
That's right.
So on 125th, we bringing the new year in right across from the Apollo.
Right.
So we're going to come on down. We got beverages, we got hats. Right. We're going to talk about our situation, our condition. But most importantly, as this year transitions to a new year, we're going to bond and we're going to build. We are going to constantly be seeking to reach and touch and bond with our brothers and sisters. That's why I'm glad I got this elder right to my immediate right, and I got Brother Garfield right on my far right. And share some thoughts, some concepts, good brothers. What do you see for us in 2017?
If we don't get ourselves together, learn to love each other, learn to live in truth, we are doomed. And you should be, really. I mean, like, it's amazing to me that in the 21st century, black folks, the children of the Most High, have absolutely no honor. Fact, if you got a black man's word, you ain't got shit. So until we clean that up, we're all doomed. I'm hoping, okay? That's why I leave most black folk alone. I love us, man. I don't want to have nothing to do with you. I'm serious. I'm serious. Your word don't mean shit. You see what I'm saying? Which means you a grimy bastard. You ain't worth shit. I'd love to kill you my goddamn self just to be merciful. You see what I'm saying? Because you're a disease that walks around. You're just like the white man. See what I'm saying? God put you here first again to teach the world. But you're like a goddamn disease that walks around. See what I'm saying? Your word ain't shit. You ain't no good. You'll rip your own goddamn brothers off. I told you, I leave my people alone, man. Serious. None. We just ain't shit. On
Now,
our best day, we ain't shit.
Now,
And
he's
that's
not.
got to change because your babies are
Okay,
learning that.
Elder.
Hell, you can't.
Let him go.
Okay, but
On your best day, you ain't shit
Okay.
because you choose it.
Can I?
Look here. I was supposed to let him.
Okay,
That's right.
just with one, because of the
said
youth.
what I meant.
We have the elder and we have the youth.
I can prove it.
May I make one comment? All I'm saying, he's speaking to an element of us.
Yeah.
He's not generalizing all black people on every level.
And I
but
say, if you ain't guilty, don't get mad.
Okay,
Correct yourself.
right. Which I totally get.
Grimy motherfucker.
And then lastly, I just want to balance it for people that are not hearing all sides. He's speaking from a very impassioned place, and right now it sounds like he's generalizing. So that's why it hit the youth the way it hit me. It sounds very negative. And I'm gonna finish, Elder, with this. So he does have years that gives him the right to speak from a place of, in some levels, condemnation. But there is still love there. There's still love behind his words.
Right.
I have gotten to know him. I know he loves his people.
Thank you.
He's diligently standing for us when we're not standing for ourselves.
Thank you.
So I do
That's
give
all
him
I'm
that.
saying.
That's all. So continue, Bill. Bill.
And if you're really mad, clean up your goddamn act. You see what I'm saying? Look, ask brothers all the time. I said, you see these hunkies killing your brothers in the streets. Are you mad? That's the first question I ask. If you are mad, are you mad enough to change your own motherfucking life? Because that goddamn white man ain't gonna change for you, motherfucker. He's a goddamn disease. You are the children of the Most High. If you won't do your goddamn job, I'm simply saying this. Earn your right to breathe, motherfucker. God wakes your sad black ass up every motherfucking day, nigga. And you choose to be an asshole. I was talking to a young brother one day and a no good bitch walked up. I said, brother, it's a fact. We're so fucked up that God can't help us. The bitch walked by and go, well, I wouldn't say that. I said, bitch, you didn't. Didn't you see my lips moving, motherfucker? You see what I'm saying? Well, what you mean? I said, then that's the question you should have asked first, you nosy motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? Now, let me answer this for you intelligently, if you have any.
Well, this is rated PG, guys. Rated PG.
Yeah, you damn right it is. Because I'm hurting, man. I'm hurting. And the hurt is coming from my own damn people. See what I'm saying? Here's what I said. I said, look, fact, and anybody here with a brain, I need you to respond to me. Does God tamper with free will?
Yes.
No, he doesn't.
He does not. Free will.
You see what I'm saying? Teach the youth, man. Teach the youth. You see what I'm saying? And they don't know, but they speak out loud quick. The dumbest motherfuckers speak the fastest. You see what I'm saying?
Careful now. That is young Marcus over there. That's young Marcus.
I'm going to back up again and say this. I'm going to back up again and say this. Does God tamper with free will? Don't answer if you don't know.
Yes. He don't know. Now, brother.
Go ahead. Drop science. Drop science. Come on.
We have.
Come on. Drop science.
We have tomorrow right here, and we got yesterday and today because he's still fighting today. But we got tomorrow. So now, drop some science, young youth.
Now, brother, what God are you confiding in first and foremost before I proceed any further?
I ain't no European.
You hold the mic so it can
Go ahead.
So, again, I ask you, what God are you confiding in before I go any further?
The one and only.
So,
ain't no.
So you're identifying with a God who has no specific doctrine. What? Before I proceed any further, I'm gonna get to a point. That's why I'm asking you, brother.
I don't understand your point. You said no, there's no specific doctrine. The Creator laid the laws of the universe. That's what my idea is, brother.
So you're identifying with the ancient Kemetic philosophy?
Yes, sir.
So at that point, because it depends on which perspective you identify with when you say God is seeking control. So for instance, we say this is a free country, right? We say America's a free country.
America lies, brother. In America, a lie ain't nothing to tell. Most people do it because they woke up this morning and their lips work.
My brother, from my perspective,
okay,
God is aiming to control contingent upon the religious philosophy you're identifying with. So for instance, if you were a Christian, some people say that God isn't trying to control you. Some people say that God gave you free will, right?
God ain't no say, it's a fact. God gave you free will.
So now, Christian people are saying that God gave us free will. However, I identify with the contrary because they say that this is a free country, right? So now, if I walked into a park and I pissed in the park where kids are at, I could potentially get arrested, brought through the court system, and labeled as a pedophile. So now, this is a free country. I can do as I please. It is my liberty to piss in the park.
Let's go back
now,
to pissing in the park.
Pardon me, brother.
You said you could get arrested. Black men should beat your ass.
Hold on. Let him go. You're not letting me finish.
No, go ahead. Finish up. Go ahead. Come on.
So, well, we do want to understand. You are tomorrow, so break it down.
Exactly. So now, there are two kinds of consequences. There are the natural consequences and the constructed consequences. So the natural consequence of pissing in the park is that you just let your shit go. The constructed consequence is the law processing you through a system and now labeling you as a pedophile. With people being able to see you on the internet as some kind of predator. So now at that point, you say to yourself, the next time you have the opportunity to piss in the park, you know what? I'm not going to do that because I may potentially end up in prison or labeled something where I could be socially condemned. Now,
and your point is what? Wrap it all together.
Now I'm going to correlate this to God. In essence, what was done there by the law was the control of activity by way of using people's fear to limit their range of behavior. So now, when we talk about God, right, we can agree that God has a list of laws and commandments. So now if God, depending on which God you're identifying with, that's why I said that God tries to control you. So now when God creates a list of laws and commandments, of course you would have to identify with a behavior that's within the confines of those laws and commandments.
Now
hold on.
Now wrap it up, Marcus. You gotta wrap up your point though. Go ahead, wrap your point.
Now if you don't identify with the behavior that is confined to what's right and wrong, or what corresponds with what's right and wrong to that God, then what ends up happening, hold on.
Wrap it up, Marcus.
Then what ends up happening is that God says, you know what? You can't go to heaven, or you'll be deprived of eternal paradise. Now, who wants to be deprived of eternal paradise or heaven? Nobody. So you know what people end up saying? They generate fear, and that fear limits their range of behavior because they don't want to end up in hell. Okay. So what they end up doing is not pissing in the park, or in God's case, they may not covet another man's wife. They may turn the other cheek when someone slaps them because the fear was used to limit their range of behavior.
Right. Marcus, do this for me in one sentence, please. Just bring it crystallized, because I'm trying to understand, because you really went to some good places. But wrap it all. Okay, but no, give him one clear question as to all of that, because I want to hear it too.
I will.
Okay, no, right now, Marcus. Now, I will. You got to do that now.
I got to wait for me to get to my point.
Nah, you had enough time. I want to hear this elder. If you can wrap it up, you got it concise. Wrap your point up. We give it to the elder. In one sentence or two sentences, Marcus, you got to be able to think and produce like that.
All right. So basically what I'm saying is, brother, God is using our fear in order to limit our range of behavior to the activities that he sees as fit. Another may say otherwise. However, God threatens us with hell, or threatens us with a consequence if we disobey the laws of nature or his laws. So at that point, we become fearful, and he's trying to limit our range of behavior and control us. You may say otherwise, but in the end, the result is control. He generates fear, and thus you limit your range of activity because of the fear.
Hey, Marcus, you're going on and on. You gotta get better at that. You gotta get better at tightening that up. Get it, Elder.
Now,
but no, that's not a good enough excuse. If you're a teacher, hold on, Elder. This is important. If you're a teacher, because they got a whole bunch of guys on soapboxes that are doing so. No, but it's still a teaching time for people that are listening.
All right, but yeah.
Okay, great. Allow me, which I do. He ain't going to forget this elder guy, because a lot of us get verbose on this platform. If you got intelligence, you can be concise, especially when you're being asked to. Something doesn't need to meander and because of and I know we pick up these speaking patterns behind other folks that are out here doing that, but in certain settings you got to know, is it working? If it ain't working, cut your stuff, deliver to the people what they need, how they need it. Brother, that's a concise teacher. That's just my personal critique and my humble opinion. So now let's turn it over to the elder.
You're saying that's how they need it, okay. But that's how I give it.
And elder, please excuse me for taking that additional time.
So now, again, this is what I meant when I said our association with Europeans has not only affected us, it has infected us. Okay, he just intellectually went astray. Okay, let me drop this from my perspective, since he put it that way. I don't fear God. I love/respect God. Okay, we deal with God like we bitches. You see what I'm saying? We deal with God like God's a bitch. Like we're pimps and God's our hoe. You know, God, give me this. God, you know, bitch better have my money. That's the way we deal with God. You see what I'm saying? That's from fucking with white people. Now, let me go back to what I was saying. I'm going to ask the question. Please don't answer. Okay. Does God tamper with free will? No. Okay. Simple. If you choose to be an asshole, ain't that the end of the story? That's all I'm saying. When I told this dumb bitch, mind your fucking business. You see what I'm saying? I was talking to a young soldier. Okay, and I meant what I said. We're so fucked up, God can't help us. If you choose to be an asshole, God doesn't tamper with that. That's what's happening in the black community. You can't even speak to black women. They act like they've lost their fucking minds. Some brothers act the same damn way. You see what I'm saying? I almost had to fight a brother one morning on the train because I said good morning. Now that was truly off the track for me. To have to fight your own people because you said good morning. Now the brother went off the deep end and was standing up me, post up, ready to fight. I said, brother, for me to put this thing back on track, and this is what I thought to myself, I don't want to kill my own brother, okay, on public transportation because there's witnesses everywhere. Now I got to go to jail for a damn fool. So what I did was gave him complete control. I said, okay, brother, I'm kind of stupid. Can you help me? He go, what? I said, okay. Please help me understand how my acknowledging your humanity is offensive. He threw his head up to think. You could see the dust flying out of his fucking ears. He hadn't thought so fucking long. Okay? He threw his head back to think for about 10 seconds. He couldn't come up with nothing. He leveled back off and went, fuck you, nigga, and walked off. Now, everybody looking at me like, wow, what happened? And I'm going, hell if I know. Okay? All I knew is if you give a damn fool control, okay, he doesn't know how to handle it. Hopefully he'll do what he did, but in most cases, they want to spring on you, as they say, or bust your jaw. Okay, but I'm saying this is what the problem is with us. We don't know how to resolve simple situations. As I said, nobody ever taught black folks how to think. They told you what to think, and most of us don't like responsibility. That's why you got all these black babies walking around with no fathers, okay? And what I want us to do is be responsible in the 21st century. Earn your right to breathe. God has blessed us all to be here this long, and it's not an accident. Please allow me to assure you of this, okay?
Elder,
this is why
you have gathered, you see, whenever you speak, the numbers just start to come, and they have questions for you. But I'm gonna share this real quick. When that brother went into, you had him question his programming. You had him starting to short circuit. But right before you could yank him back and make him my brother, the programming kicked in. And he said, "F you," when he walked away.
Right.
But your truth was getting to him.
Think.
Exactly.
That's all I want from the black man, because you are the original man. God put you here to do this.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, and there's a brother right here who has a question for you.
Peace. More camera? All right. Yeah, listen, when the brother asked the question, does God tamper with free will? The question is ambiguous. At least the answer for it is. We can interpret it different ways. But I would just camelback and say that if God gave man free will, why would he tamper with his own work?
So you see?
I think that's a fair assessment because, hold on, Mark, because all of us, we grown men, we all make decisions, and women do the same thing. And in that decision is your free will. Your will be done, right? I chose to answer to the call of Brother Sinetta and come out here today, right? I could be in the Bronx at work making some money, but the free will instituted in me by divine law chose to make the decision to come to Harlem to 125th and close out the new year with my brother Sinetta. Yes. So, in answer to your question, which I'm going to support, and say that the only free will being tampered with is our inability to make sound, right, reason, and decision. Exactly. With that, I say peace.
Thank you for the elaboration, brother.
Thank you for sharing.
Let me build on that.
After the you.
Hold on. Let me build on that. So now, again, it is all contingent upon whether God tampers with your free will or not. Is all contingent upon the God that you are identifying with. But nonetheless, let's not make a mistake. God is obviously passive aggressive, and I'll tell you why. If I tell you I'm not trying to take your money, but in turn I get you robbed, in the end I took your money. I just did it by way of a different means. So now if God tells you I'm not trying to control you, but then creates a list of rules and regulations for you to confide in, and then if you deviate, God creates a consequence. Is that not some form of control? Now, don't get me wrong. You may say, no, but you have the free will. You can go kill. You can go murder. You can choose to be an asshole. But nonetheless, if you choose to be an asshole, there's a difference between rules and law. A rule is a rule, but a law can be enforced. A law always has a follow-up. God has created laws. Let's make that very clear. In other words, there's a follow-up. So now people have a psychological barrier imbued into their psyche. They have a psychological barrier embedded into their psyche as it relates to the consequences that God has created. So upon an opportunity for departure from the ways of God, you know what people say? Right before they can go and commit murder. You know what people say? Christians, Muslims, people that study the Torah, they say, oh shit, I might go to hell. There goes the psychological barrier. So they think twice about doing it. But the only reason that they didn't want to do it in the first place is because God created that psychological fear. So in essence, God controlled their actions indirectly. So now, like I was saying, hold on. So now, hold on. So now, at the end of the day, the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, it's God inspired. So if we're going to entertain the reality of the spiritual doctrine, then in essence it's God. So all I'm saying is that if I told you I didn't want your money, but then got you robbed, in essence, I still took your money. I just took it by different means. God is controlling you, but he's not making it obvious. So God is not only someone who's trying to control, since he purports that he isn't trying to control, by default that also makes him a liar. Or it a liar.
Give me the mic. Let me explain
If you
something
want
to
to
you.
contest that, you can try. But you can get this
Hold.
one.
Let me explain something.
Come on, Monk. Let him go. Let him go. Look, let me drop something on you. I have a picture at home, and I think it would solve this whole thing if I could show you the picture. It's a baboon, and the caption under the baboon says, "It is not important that I think. It is important." No, it says, "Why I think what I think." And that's what's happening. Our minds have been manipulated so badly, we say crazy shit articulately, okay? And we believe it. Like, you remember, we just mentioned a whole lot of religions here. Let me simplify something, and if you want to hate me for it, it doesn't matter. I don't give a damn about none of the religions. Ain't none of them worth shit, okay? Now, let me prove it to you. The only thing religion has ever done successfully is divide people. Don't take my word. Look at it your damn self if you can tell yourself the truth, okay? Religion divides people. There ain't but one God. All of these motherfuckers are serving the same God, okay? There ain't but one God, okay? Called by many names. And can't none of these religious motherfuckers get along. Pay attention, goddammit. That's why you got all these different fucking churches, different races, and then in the black community, you got different collections of people claiming they serving God. There ain't but one God. Now let me quote scripture, since that's all. Folks say, why use scripture since you don't believe in religion? I said, because it's the only thing my people think they know. Okay? Think about this, okay? If God is our Father, okay? Scripture says, I must be about my Father's business. If you look out the window and you see your Father in a life and death struggle, and God is in a life and death struggle, if you look out the window and see your Father in a life and death struggle, what are you going to do? You're going to go out there
down and help him out.
Exactly, okay? As I look through this world, because scripture says I must be about my Father's business. As I look through this world, I see Satan's children working full-time plus for their daddy. We the children of the Most High are either on vacation or a long-ass break with no intentions of bringing our punk asses back to work.
Or furlough. Wait,
please.
I gotta.
Everybody relax and let the elder finish.
Okay, and then Garfield's coming in. Elder Bill. Bill, Elder. Let's bring Garfield in next. For Elder Bill.
He know, I know what I know.
Bill.
So as I was saying, we the children of the Most High are either on vacation or a long break with no intentions of bringing our punk asses back to work. See what I'm saying? As I said, earn your right to breathe. God wakes you up every day. See what I'm saying? Cat told me, he said, New World, I can't live the righteous life, man. It's hard. I said, I ain't got nothing you ain't got. Okay? You and me are the same. The only difference in us is choices. You choose to be a goddamn fool. I choose to live a righteous life. And that's all I'm saying. In a number of choices in the 21st century, in 2017, I'm hoping that we will come into the simple knowledge that the 1 stands for knowledge, the 7 stands for God. To know God is to know yourself. Introduce you to you in 2017 and change this world for the better. Not for me, not for your worthless ass, but for these babies. God bless you.
Ashe.
Much love.
He want to ask him a question.
Okay, to the young.
So now, Elder, I won't. My brother, first of all, I respect you, feel what I'm saying? So I don't want it to be misperceived. You know, I got love for you, brother.
You still gonna be my little brother. I love you anyway.
He's not quite brother. He's elder.
What else you got?
He's not our
Get out the way and let the brother ask.
So now,
me, you go have it out.
So now, I want to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Do you believe that religion is
I
misogynistic?
don't believe shit. I know, or I shut the fuck up.
All right. So now, just let me finish.
And you should be the same way.
Nah, trust me, I am. So now,
See what you doing?
do you know,
I'm gonna handle that.
or are you of the opinion that religion is sexist? Briefly, and then I'm gonna ask you another question.
All of it.
So now,
I don't
is
fuck
God
with it. It's like playing
is
this
God?
shit.
Hold on, brother. You quoted scripture, so now I have to ask you a question.
Okay.
Is God sexist to any extent?
If you're dealing with it from a European perspective, it's patriarchal.
No, but from your perspective, brother, is God sexist?
No.
So God isn't sexist?
No.
So now I want to ask you another question, and I'm getting to a point. Is God a man or a woman?
Neither.
So God is not a man nor a woman, and he's not sexist, or it's not sexist.
Okay.
Now, hold on, brother. I just needed you. Hold on, brother. I got you. Hold on, brother.
Don't drag.
Brother, I got you. I'm getting to a point with a series of questions. So we've just established that God is not a man nor a woman, and we've also established that God is not sexist. But earlier, during your dissemination, you said, God, our Father. So if God is not a man nor woman, brother, hold on.
Negroes have been programmed.
Brother, hold on.
If you're going to reach the lost Negro,
Hold
you
on.
got to talk the way they understand. Otherwise, you lose them before it starts.
I'm listening.
Okay?
I'm listening.
I'm through. I just
So
said it.
you basically saying that you only said that to communicate
That's it.
to the fact.
Because I'm dealing with the deaf, dumb, the blind, and the happy to be stupid.
So you don't believe that God is our Father?
Well, that's the term that's been used, okay? As I said, I don't give a fuck about none of the goddamn religions, okay? Because ain't none of them worth shit, okay? But folks say, well, why you always use the term? That's because it's the only thing my people think they know. Feel me?
Yeah, I
okay?
absolutely do.
The dumbest motherfuckers on earth who look like us, okay, are hiding in the churches. Because to me, the church is like the Badlands. You remember back in the day when you used to watch the cowboy movies? There was a place called the Badlands. What was the Badlands? It's where the criminals, the bank robbers, the thieves, the liars, the murderers, that's where they go to hide. That's the same thing the church is. See what I'm saying? Dirty motherfuckers who haven't stopped being dirty motherfuckers, they hide in the church. They haven't stopped doing the rotten ass shit they've always done. They just go to church now.
Do you think they hide in the conscious community too?
Hell yeah, they do.
Absolutely.
I meet them every day.
I see the.
That's what I tell you. Black people's word is no good. If you got a black person's word, you got nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Some of us.
We have no honor. Too many of us, brother.
many of us.
So I'll speak it as a blanket statement, okay? If you're not guilty, all you have to do is practice righteousness, which means you'll stand out like a light bulb. And that's what I'm saying to us. I live a righteous life on purpose. This is not an accident because I understand what's necessary. Yes, sir. Matter of fact, it's an extreme choice, okay? Because I understand how powerful it is. See what I'm saying? In the African world, we have a phrase, and I love it. I carry it with me everywhere I go. It says, in the African world, we do that which is right simply because it's right and for no other reason. Whereas the Christians say, we do good because God will bless us. Okay, then what if God don't bless you the way you want to be blessed when you want to get blessed? Now you got an attitude with God, right? See what I'm saying? This is the kind of shit you learn from white people, okay? If we were really brave, you just leave white people the fuck alone and let them die.
That's human nature, though, brother. Hold on. That's human nature, brother. I agree with you, but I think it's human nature. Hold on.
You ain't been human in centuries.
Brother. Hold on. Hold on.
Okay, I said you ain't been human in centuries. So
All
what
right.
you mean human nature?
So now,
okay?
let me tell you.
You can't even get these motherfuckers to accept your humanity. So what the fuck you mean human nature?
So let me explain what I mean. Let me explain what I mean, Elder.
That white man who beats your ass and murders you in the motherfucking street when he feels like it is your humanity. Because if you don't do what he says, he'll beat your motherfucking ass and murder you. See, and he don't mind doing it. What I'm saying
On
is
what land? He come to my projects, he getting smoked.
in the projects, brother. You don't run that.
What you mean? If a white man, see, it all depends on context, the circumstances and facts surrounding the situation. You speaking of 1619 when we was on the plantations.
I'm doing right now. They murdering brothers every day.
Don't get me wrong. If a cop walked into my piece, let's be realistic. If a cop walked into my piece where I live, and the cop was to come out,
I don't know why we going there. I don't even.
hold on. No,
I'm in it
but
now.
hold,
Y'all done
so I'm not trying to deviate.
You see
But
because
you
they
went
know
off.
where you
Hold
live,
on,
you
brother.
get everybody in your project
Brother,
hurt.
hold on, brother.
And we don't want to do
Brother,
that.
you went off. Brother, you went off into. Hold on, King.
Yeah, let me hold on to the mic. Speak.
Brother, you went off into a tangent. So that's why I started referencing the project situation, because as I was asking my question, you said, you know, the white man and he'll deprive you of your
don't
freedom.
control it.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's why I went off into that tangent. So I'm not deviating, brother. I went to the route that you created.
Okay.
So now, my initial question was, or my initial statement, I should say, was that it's human nature to be of self-interest. The majority of the reasons that people follow any God, if they follow at all, is because they're looking out for their own self-interest. Humans are saying to themselves that, in essence, if I do good, this is where I'll end up. When people practice ma'at, they may say that they're not doing good for this. They may say that they're doing good only for the sake of doing good, but let's not front. In Kemetic philosophy, your heart is weighed on a scale thereafter you die, suggesting that if you are judged negatively, you will be sent to a negative life in the thereafter. So people want to behave properly
Before you
just
get to
so.
judgment, let's get to activity.
People want to behave properly just so that they can experience progress or prosperity and paradise in their afterlife. So the majority of the reasons that people search for spiritual cultivation is self-interest. They're looking for self-enrichment. It's selfishness that precipitates selflessness.
Yo, look ahead, man. Brother, so what do you think about a wise man that said, if I can get you to think and you can save yourself? And first,
The professor go, bro.
Yeah, what you doing?
Finish what he's saying and then pass it.
The professor go.
Is this thing on?
Pass it.
I give it to 1 second. Hold on a second. Yo, so answer that question. Wise man once said, if I can get you to thinking, you can save yourself. What do you think about that?
I wish I was close enough to him to hug him and kiss him.
That's Noble Drew Ali. That's Noble Drew Ali.
It's a fact, brother, because that's what I'm saying now. For 2017, I'm simply asking the original man to just make it your life's purpose. To simply introduce you to you. Because as I've said many times, there's a dynamite brother in, well, let me just drop it down to the way I talk to brothers on the streets. When I meet them around the corner and they have cameras on, I'll tell my brother like I tell y'all. Fact, you are the baddest motherfucker on the planet. Problem, you may be the only motherfucker on the planet that don't know it. And that's what's bothering the shit out of me. See what I'm saying? Everybody knows who we are but us. And that's what's bothering me. I simply, well, let me drop something on you. And I want to make sure this is on camera. Now, y'all just chill for a minute and see if you can get the power out of this. Not just the wisdom, but the power. If you watch the movie Malcolm X, have y'all seen it? Yeah. Okay. There's a segment in that film where the police beat a brother down, right? Yeah, right? And Malcolm, like myself, was very concerned about the brother, so he went down to see about him. Right. Okay? They treated Malcolm like shit, didn't they? Until somebody brought to the desk sergeant's attention to look out of the window. Yeah. Now, I'm going to ask you what they saw, but I don't want to get a long conversation. I'm going to tell you what you thought they saw. They saw a lot of black men out there standing around and it scared them. No, let me tell you exactly what they saw. They saw black men standing. It scared their socks off their fucking feet while their shoes were still tied. And that's all I'm asking for in the 21st century. I need black men to stand together. That's all I'm asking for.
We stood together. We stood together.
How about our sisters?
They're kind of lost right now, but once we get the men together, I'm sure they will come back home. I need to bring it to every man's attention that our sisters didn't become bitches till you became a dog. So I ask you to just make up your mind to be a king, just for shits and giggles, okay? Make up your own mind to just stand up and be a king. And I guarantee you, our sisters will stand beside you.
Last question, how do you feel about Serena being engaged to the white boy?
My heart's broken, goddammit. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Anytime we do that kind of stupid shit, it bothers the hell out of me. Okay? It really does. But like I said, we got some serious problems we have to clean up in-house. That's why I'm asking us to turn inward.
Outside of us.
That's it.
That's it. God is cosmic energy, creative intelligence, a life force in which we live, move, and have our being in.
What the kids say, all that in the bag of chips, baby?
All in the bag of chips.
With condiments.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I just want to say, you know, as we bring in...
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Some powerful stuff.
Oh, and by the way, my music is at newworldwarrior.com. My music is at newworldwarrior.bandcamp.com. Okay, if you all really want to support me, and I do need it, okay, because I want to make BU better. Once I get the orchestra and the band locked in, I'm gonna make this thing so dynamite. And when you purchase anything from me for $1.02, I give you everything. I guarantee you, you're gonna get more than $1.02 worth. You bet your life on that. Much love, fam.
Thank you, Elder. Well, peace. Hey, y'all, look. It's cold out here. Look, it's cold out here, right? But look, we need to move from conscious community to conscious what? Nation. Right? Because a community is just, it's an elevation of consciousness. A community is a group of people who share the same ideals, are part of a nation, right? But now we got to move into nation-state consciousness. The consciousness of moving from a community to a nation. And once we move from a community toward nation thinking, that means that we need leaders who are going to lead us. We need a president. We need a minister of youth. We need a minister of communication. We need a minister of women's and all of these things that have to do with running a government. That is what Garvey was all about. That is what this platform, which is an ancient platform. This platform is over 100 and something years old. The Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey.
I say, Mark.
This platform was always about nation state and that consciousness that leads toward nation state and the righteousness that comes with running a nation state. You wanted to ask a question?
Yeah. So now, I agree that we should be trying to move up in the ladder of unification, but I want to ask you, would you say the same thing in light of the recent events? And this is no shot, but would you say this in light of the Sanetta versus or beef with Sarah Seti and Young Pharaoh? Would you say this in light of the Umar Johnson and General Seti? Would you say this in light of the Polite and Sanetta situation, all of the disunity that's existing?
That's right. Well, you have siblings, right?
Of course.
You fight with them, right?
Of course.
Y'all still family, right?
Swing.
Yeah. So even in a nation, you may even have a civil war in the nation, but that nation comes back together, right? That's what nationhood is about. It's about the greater good of the group, right? So we got to elevate our level of consciousness to think nation and move away from community. Conscious nation, conscious sovereignty, right? So even with the issues that have been going on over the last couple of weeks with a lot of the family members who have rebelled, right? They are no better than the group. It is the group that is the most powerful and the most important process. How does the group, but they themselves have moved themselves out of the group for their own individual self. But I promise you, they will come back to the nation. They have to, because they're not more important than the nation. They're not more important than the group. So that's basically what I want to say moving into 2017, that we elevate from community to nation state consciousness. And once we do that, I think the world will be at our feet. That's what I really believe.
I want to contribute.
I believe that too.
From a legal perspective, from a legal perspective, a community is a society of people living in the same place, under the same rules and regulations, who have common rights and privileges. Now, the key to understanding that definition is society. A society is an association or company of persons united together for any mutual or common purpose. So, a community is a society of people living in the same place. And to be a society, you have to identify your mutual and common purposes for existing among each other. So, from a legal sense, the conscious community is not a community at all. For we have not identified universally, as it relates to Hebrew Israelites, as it relates to Moorish Americans, as it relates to the Kemetic community, as it relates to everyone that composes the conscious community. We have not identified our universal reason for being together. So from a legal perspective, we aren't even considered a community. We aren't even considered a society, for we haven't identified the direction we want to go in. Your feet only start moving when you have a destination in mind. Every single community within the conscious community, or every single community that composes the conscious community, has their own direction in mind. So they're all moving in separate directions and ending up in different places, hence the disunity. We have to create a universal destination for the conscious community in order to even be labeled a society from a legal perspective. And then we might be able to precipitate from a legal perspective that community feel, where we're not just the conscious community in consciousness, where we can walk on 125th and identify a conscious brother and say, oh, you're conscious, let's meet up on 125th and build. We can actually identify the conscious brother within the space of our own building, where we look next door and I don't even have to ask, I know the brother's conscious. The fact that we have to say that this is a conscious community suggests that there's a major contrast outside of ourselves, which there is. So I personally feel that we need to identify universally. Someone needs to create a conference where we're all identifying universally the destination that we want to arrive at as a collective. And once we do that, we'll be able to start taking steps forward. Now, Serena? With the white boy. Now, the reason that I think Serena Williams made a dangerous mistake is because everything exists as an archetype. When black people rebelled on a plantation, let's say Nat Turner for instance,
we didn't rebel.
They made sure to grab
build on plantation.
Nah, you could build on that, but black people made sure. Black people made sure to transgress at times when they were dissatisfied with their treatment on the plantation. So Nat Turner decided to kill a multitude of white people because he wasn't appreciative of his treatment. So now they caught Nat Turner, and if you watch the movie, you've seen this in a visual sense, but they caught Nat Turner. After they caught Nat Turner, they said, you know what, wait, we're jumping him, but we gotta save him, We have to hang him and skin him in front of every single nigga. We gotta make sure that every white boy and girl sees this. Why? Because they were creating an archetype. They were creating an example out of Nat Turner so that other people can see that and follow in the message that was conveyed. So the message that was conveyed by way of Nat Turner's lynching or hanging was not to rebel, was not to transgress. So now in this society where we now have the internet, things reach people at a way faster speed. So now Serena Williams marries a white man. That is an archetype. That is an example. Now this white man so happens to be successful.
She's engaged.
So,
she ain't married him yet.
well, eventually what's coming? The marriage. So Serena Williams marries a white man. So now immediately what's insinuated is that when you marry white people, you may end up, or you're more likely to end up, with a successful person. Because why didn't she just go and marry one of her own? Now don't get me wrong, love has no color. I'm not out here promoting that you go and date white women, but I've seen white women that look black from the waist down, and I said, oh shit, like from waist down, that's a sister. But I didn't want to go and approach them, I didn't want to talk to them, but nonetheless, love has no color. A brother may become lustful upon sight of a white woman, engage in an interaction with her, and so happen to fall in love. She may have fallen in love with that white man, but what's dangerous about that is that she created an archetype. Now people are looking at that and saying, well, Serena went and got a white boy, and look at him. He owns a company. He's super successful. Why don't we just go and get some white men? And there are a multitude. There's no excuse for dating that white man or marrying that white man because there are a multitude of successful black men in her atmosphere. A multitude. Since she has such an abundance of money, you can't tell me in any way, shape, or form that she couldn't have ran into a successful black brother. She decided to gravitate towards the crackers because, hold on, wait. I mean, call me my name, King. Yeah. So, to make I get what you're saying though, appreciate the compliment. But to make a long, I got you. We puff and pass. To make a long story short.
Bad analogy, son, that a bad analogy.
To make a long story short, I think that Serena may have genuinely fell in love. However, it was dangerous because she created a negative archetype.
All right, there you go, Monk. Go in, Monk. And we're gonna see. You want this mic? Hold on, man. You've been asking for this mic all this time. You better have something powerful. Okay, listen. Go in.
As Brother Monk has been in Harlem for 50 years.
Talk that talk.
And I seen Malcolm, I see John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, Amos Wilson, all of them. I come out that school of Malcolm. Now I seen when you set up your first bullhorn.
That's right.
From the bullhorn to being here.
Go in, Monk.
And you picked up all the guys that's supposed to be intelligent.
Right.
And so they got so much intelligence, they ran off. They don't need you no more.
Damn, Monk.
They don't need you no more. But let me tell you something. See, first of all, they've been calling the white man white. What color is that? What you got on down there? Right there.
That's white. Yeah, he don't.
Okay. The cracker. They don't want to talk about the cracker. They come out the caves of Europe, eating food with the dogs. He's a no good son of a bitch. He's a cracker. Now let me tell you something. Y'all too scared to get together and build something that can last for life. Malcolm built something that can last for life because they talk John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, Amos Wilson, Stepladder Corner. Over there we had the Shore Bookstore.
They don't know about the Stepladder, Monk.
No, and they don't know about the Shore Bookstore before they build a state building. But I'm telling y'all, if y'all stop running your mouth talking about this man and do something that can build a university of knowledge. You see, you got a brother called Dr. Omar Johnson. You know what he said? He's tired of going to all the meetings they want him to speak and they ain't doing nothing. You see, so now we got all these brothers every day. Let me get on Sarnetta on YouTube. Now, you might build a brother like him. And he might be one of them brothers, once he get built to a point he can match anybody in knowledge, he'll walk off. He'll walk off.
Oh, you killing
you know what I mean? But Light walked off, but I'm still here. But I'm gonna tell you, listen, I'm gonna tell you. Now, all the niggas, I call niggas that want to move to the suburbs. Crackers say you can have the suburbs. Now I'm coming into Harlem. Now listen. Now if you're gonna ask me a question, it got to be an intelligent question that can hold it. If you're gonna ask me something, it got to be an intelligent question. Because if it's a bad question, I can answer it. If it's an intelligent question, I can answer it.
My bad,
Now, what I don't want you to do is, don't make up a lie to yourself and try to give it to me.
Nah, I'm not gonna
Because
lie.
I'll stop all lies. I'll stop all bullshit.
Brother, how about the brothers that moved out of here that was Sarnetta and left? Can you talk about that?
Well, the brothers that moved out here to Sarnetta, everywhere they go, they're going to have a patch on saying Sarnetta, because everybody know they come out of the Sarnetta movement of being on YouTube with Sarnetta. So I want to say this to you.
Yes, sir. Wipe your mouth, man. People want to see this. Here, come on. Wipe your mouth. Your mouth too, man.
Okay.
I don't want to touch you.
But let me tell you this. The cracker, he even know about Sarnetta. Because I was here one day on the Saturday, a cracker girl and a cracker man from another country. And they looked around and they say, are you Sarnetta? Because I saw you on Sarnetta video.
That's real.
Now I'm talking real. But listen, this cracker is scared of us. Do you know that? Cracker is scared of us. Because they know that we got the philosophy, the brain, and the know-how to put him to shame and put him out to business. Now listen, but you ain't got to be a buck dancer, you ain't got to be a Negro, and you ain't got to, if Sarnetta is not here, what you gonna do? If you ain't on Sarnetta video, what you gonna do? Can you stand up to this cracker? I got brothers I know that deal with the cracker every day, even in business. I got a brother over here, deal with crackers, and they can't talk that talk to him. They can't talk that talk to him, but I'll say one thing. If you're a real brother, you'll show Sarnetta that you ain't gonna back up off him.
Facts.
You ain't gonna show now Sarnetta that you're not gonna back up off him.
All right.
Good job, beloved.
Dear listener, brothers and sisters, once again, we are closing out this year today here in Harlem, New York. Let me just say, for the record, we did a lot of kicking, cussing, and fighting all year round. A lot of controversies, a lot of videos posted, back and forth fighting. However, let us close out now on the first principle of what the Moors call love. All the Moors who I had problems with over in 2016, let's start a new, Let's start a new year, turn a new leaf, and leave the historical fecal matter of 2016 and 2016. I want to say to the Moors out there, and I'm sure the Hebrews can support it as well. All the Moors in this paradigm, the leadership, if you're not fighting, let's stop fighting. And y'all know what I mean when I say that. All the groups who are under one umbrella name, come together and do something for the greater good of us all. The Hebrews, y'all have y'all problems, y'all do the same. The House of Consciousness is going to still contribute to the hearts and minds of our people, right? And we're trying to do something here, because if this thing was to go, I remember when Charlie Rangel had got with Mayor Giuliani and they moved the vendors off 125th Street. And then that's when the community started to have appreciation for what's going on out here, right? And they said, where's it at? Where'd it go? Well, while we got something here now, let's embrace and endorse what we got while we got it. Because it may come a day and time when we don't have this no more. You know, Saturdays will be spent playing basketball in the park or doing some crime to get us in trouble with the law. So brothers and sisters, let's show love to each other this year in 2017. All right? Bro, you want to speak?
Yeah, let me say something real fast. Let me say something. First of all, Black African power, man. And listen, at the end of the day, you could claim whatever you want. We came over, most of us, from West Africa on the slave ships. You can't deny that history. You could play the game you want. You could play Hebrew, you could play Moor, you could play RBG, you could play whatever you want. Most of us, if we do a DNA test right now, are going to trace back to West Africa. Now, as far as 2017, the Hebrew brother, he could come over here if he wants. He could get this work. It's not a problem. Come on in, brother. Okay. Hey, you got the white man's underwear on, right? You got the white man's underwear on, right? All right. Keep it moving, brother. That you ain't ready for this. Come on over. Come on over then. Come on. You want a dialogue? Come on, brother. Because the Hebrews got to do a job. And you know what their job got to be? They got to unite with the other set of Hebrews. So that's a division within a division. They need to straighten that out before they come to any table. The Moors, y'all got to do better, man. Y'all got to do better. Roy Bay, I can't say nothing bad about you, man. You made the way you made. You're a good brother. But the other brothers got to follow Roy Bay lead. You got another brother in Maryland, another Bay, and they got Lord Abba. That they all against each other trying to be the top Moor in some way, shape, or form. That's not the way to do it. The thing with the RBGs, the same thing. Everybody want to be the quote-unquote top dog. So listen, man, we just got to get some programs together for our people and try to deal with it properly. Because at the end of the day, all of us here, whether we like it or not, we either work for the white man or he's attached to us somewhere. The brother saying that he's not talking to me because of my hat, that's a white man hat. And I bet you everybody in his family wears the white man's underwear. Hanes or one of them brands. Chinese, whoever made it. But we wearing the white man's hat. We got to be smart with what we say, man. We got to be, we don't celebrate nothing, brother. I don't celebrate nothing. Come over here, brother. You want to talk? Come over here, beloved. Come on, beloved. Ain't no anger. Come on. You want to talk? Let's talk. It's all love. I ain't got no... Okay, beloved. I hear you. I hear you, beloved. I hear you. No problem, beloved. No problem. But let me move on by saying this, beloved. That we stop being an attention whore. Okay, that's good to hear. Peace and love, brother. But anyway, let me bring the who you want me to bring in? All right, cool. Peace.